What's happening, everybody? My name is Mike at Filmboy24. Today we're going to find out if this roll right here of 35mm motion picture film 250D from 1989 can still produce images. A week or two ago, I mentioned that a friend of mine from Atlanta, Georgia, sent me some old movie film, some old 35mm short ends. Now, short ends are different from recans because they're actually the ends of the rolls. You load 400 feet of film into a film magazine and you only shoot 300 feet of it. Well, the last 100 feet goes back in the can and usually never touched again. Well, he managed to get his hands on a few rolls of it many moons ago. Here's a quick photo. And like I said last video, he said it wasn't stored probably the way it should have been. And I guess he felt like he was never going to use it, so he sent it all to me. Well, I appreciate that. You know who you are. I truly appreciate you and your lovely wife. So today we're going to start with one roll, and we're going to start figuring out if this film is any good at all. Can we get any images whatsoever? Color film typically does not hold up well over the years. Now, anytime short ends are put back into the cans, for the most part, back in the 80s and 90s when they actually used to shoot TV shows and movies on film, they'd put a piece of gaffer's tape on the outside of the can, and they would write the emulsion number. They would also write the stock number. They would write the sort of the EI or the ISO of the film and how many feet were in it. What we're going to show you today is this roll here. Now, you have to be careful because the label on the can isn't always what's in the can. You always have to read the gaffer's tape. And in this case, it is a 170-foot short end of 5297, which was discontinued a long time ago. I should have had the date already ready, but in the 90s, early to mid 90s, I don't remember exactly. It is a 250 ISO film, originally daylight balanced. So I loaded up one of these little reloadable 35mm film cartridges, and I put it in my oh so trusty favorite camera in the world, my Nikon F3. Now I metered everything at 100 ISO. I was a tiny bit worried about that because this is labeled, by the way, it was recanned in 1989. That's bad enough on its own, but when you add in unknown storage conditions for the last 32 years, I hope we get something out of it. Well, I already know if we do or if we don't, and you probably know by now that I'm not going to shoot an entire episode if we didn't get something out of it. So I loaded about 15 frames of film on here, and I did it without a bulk daylight loader because I have a lot of this and I just wanted to clip, about 3 feet of it, and I loaded it in the dark and I just spooled it by hand. Again, this was simply to find out, first and foremost, if we can still get any image at all off of this film. Now, I did process this in its native ECN2 process. I've been having a little bit better luck with ECN2 lately. I don't know what happened. Maybe it's because I was whining about it in the last couple of videos. It's decided to work for me again. So I did process this film in ECN2, and let me show you a couple of pictures right now. Yep. Well, the good news is we got images. The mediocre news is they're not the greatest. Full disclosure, the only thing I did to these images that you just saw, Photoshop auto tone just to sort of balance the levels out a little bit. So all of those crazy color shifts that you saw, mainly the purple, is poor aging. I mean, the film, it's usable, but now I know I'm not going to take it to a wedding. I'm not going to shoot a wedding with it. But you can have a lot of fun with it because those are funky looking images. Now I just took it out into a local park and just driving around a little bit just to burn off the film and see what we could get. Again, purple tone, the top and the bottom mainly. I did work on a couple of the images to try to pull the purple out of it. Just sort of funkies the image even more. So I left it alone. It is definitely a fun film to experiment with now. I'm going to have fun with it. I'm going to load up some more cartridges. I'm going to give a couple to my buddy and let him go try. Travis, stay tuned. And we're going to have some fun with this film. And I'll get back to you later on, those results. The other 2 rolls. Well, I got 8 rolls actually. There were 3 different films. Now, I did load up these 2 as well. I just haven't developed them yet. I did shoot them, but I haven't processed them yet. This is the Agfa XT320 color film. And this one here, loud, is the 500T, Kodak 500T. They're both in the same era, very late 80s, very early 90s. This one specifically put back in the can, 1989. This one put back in the can, 1993. I was also sent a 100-foot roll of Kodak Portra 160. I did load up 1 cartridge of that film. And unfortunately, I can't answer the question of whether that film is any good yet because I haven't processed it. I did shoot it, but I haven't processed that yet. Stay tuned. This is coming soon. I promise you, developing probably today. So in the next week or so, you will see the result of this and my Portra 160. If you like videos like this, if you had fun with this, if you want to see the other results, do me a huge favor. You know what it is. Punch the like button and then subscribe so that you don't miss the results of this film. You also won't miss any results of my found film episodes where I take old Super 8 film that was exposed years and years and years ago and process it, scan it, and deliver it right to your phone, iPad, tablet, or computer. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. What do you think that purple is from? I think it's just from the aging process, the color shifting. And until the very next time, I see you, oh, and you. I'll see everyone on the next go-around.